Good evening, brothers. I hope this evening finds you well. It's kind of dark because we had a storm come through called Ian. You might have heard about it. Catastrophic. Not for us. We got a lot of damage, but we're alive. So that's why I'm operating in the evening. My days have been filled with fixing stuff, finding tarps, finding food, finding water, all the stuff you go through. But in any event, we're doing great. We're healthy, and we didn't sustain any life-threatening stuff like a lot of people. Serious storm, really serious. We're going to do something fun, because right now I really want to go back to when I was 10. So I lived in a neighborhood. In fact, I wrote a book about my youth in South Miami in the 1960s. It's called Sleeping in Trees. I mentioned it on a previous video. And it's 50 stories that, frankly, even to this day, I'm not sure I believe them, but they're all true. A reviewer, gentleman, said, these stories aren't real, because if they were, all the kids would be dead and the parents would be in jail. That says it all. But the point of that is that one of my best buddies, his name was Dinkle. Everybody had a name. All 10 of us had names. I was Typhoon. Anyway, Dinkle grew up in a family of very difficult circumstances. His mother was divorced, family of 5. Let me tell you, there's one way I can describe that household, is they didn't really have any food. Most of the time there wasn't any food. Because when she'd bring it home, it was like a pack of animals. They would come in like a force, and within an hour the food would all be gone. I mean, I'm not kidding, it was crazy. And at 10, I didn't really appreciate what was going on there, but now I think back and it's like, oh my God. So anyway, I'll never forget the day we were riding to school. We would get on our Stingrays. We didn't have backpacks, we have our books or whatever we carried, probably. We would ride 2 miles to school, which you could do back then. And we just park our bikes in the rack and go to school and come out and get our bikes riding. We didn't have locks. One morning I went over to meet with Dinkle so we could ride to school. And he comes out with an onion. Now, I'm not 100% sure it was peeled, but on the way to school, as we rode our bikes, that was his breakfast. He ate an onion. Every now and then on a Sunday or a Saturday, I'd go over early to see Dinkle, see what we could get into that day. And sometimes they had food, and his mother would make something called egg in a hole. Not eggs in holes, egg in a hole. It's the dumbest, simplest, wonderfulest, most delightful breakfast that you can make. So this show, and it's for kids. You don't have to do this. She could have made eggs and toast. No, she made an egg in a hole. And so this show is for kids. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's stupidly simple, but it's so good. And we're gonna use our buddy, George. Man, George is gonna step up to make an egg in a hole. And I bet you George has no idea that anybody has made with his beautiful machine an egg in a hole. He probably doesn't know what an egg in a hole is. Anyway, that's the show, that's the episode. So let's get started. Enough chat. If any of you grubbers are wondering what a Category 5 hurricane is like, I've got a very short video to give you a taste. I don't recommend experiencing it. If you can avoid it, it's best. If you can't, you better just batten down the hatches. And let me tell you, if they tell you to evacuate, you want to get the heck out of Dodge. And I mean, move now. Okay, grubbers, this is really, really simple. What we have is an egg, you've seen that. We have a piece of bread. We have some butter. That's it, 3 ingredients. As we always endeavor, we're gonna keep it simple today. So, first thing we need to do, to make an egg in a hole, you gotta cut a hole in the bread. So I had a piece of PVC pipe. It's a little crude, but it works. You might have a little cookie cutter, you know, for cookies, maybe, you know, you could have fun, you know, this is for the kids. Maybe you have a butterfly shaped cookie cutter. Well, then make a little butterfly. The key is to make a hole in the bread. If you don't have anything at all, then, you know, I just happen to have a knife, stiletto. You could cut a hole, you know, with a knife, but you don't have to do it that way. Let's try it. So first of all, push it down and then just kind of twist. And see that? Don't throw that away. Don't eat it prematurely. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little butter on that. So get our knife. You just wanna butter around the bread on both sides, okay? Now, a tip, very important. If you've got a George, like I have, you see a stick, right? Well, that's because the George Foreman grill, the whole concept behind his original grills, where they slanted downward, and that way when you put a steak in the grill and shut it, the bad fat in the steak, which now we know is actually not bad, but it would run off into this little dish in the front. Well, if we break an egg into this, we don't want the egg to run off, right? So I had to level it with the stick. So I put a stick underneath it, now it's level. The other point is we're preheating George. When we do our 2-minute toasty cheese sandwich, we don't preheat. But now we're gonna preheat, because as soon as we crack the egg in there, we want it to start cooking. Now the other thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cook for 3 minutes. So set your timer on 3 minutes. As soon as you shut the machine, butter both sides, just like that. And put a little bit on the top, because that's gonna go right on top. And you'll see here in a moment. So we open the grill, preheated, watch it's hot. Put our bread on, okay? Step 2, it's not hard. Crack your egg, break it very carefully in there like that. You want the yolk to go in. Put your little cap on top. That's sticking. Doesn't matter. It's not going to sit right on top. We just get it close. Shut the lid. Press it down. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. We're going to be back. Well, let's open up George and see how he performed. Well, look at that. Oh, it's a surprise. I didn't expect it to be upside down, but it doesn't really matter. So we just take anything, a little spatula knife, and just kind of peel it off. And that's it, folks. That's an egg in a hole. And our little cap is over here. You see the cap there? And the yolk should be there. Now this is going to be on 3 minutes. It's going to be firm. It's not going to be medium over easy. If you want medium over easy, you can cook it less. But we're also trying to toast the bread. So, ain't beautiful? It is pretty thing. Saw how simple that was, and the kids will love it. Good, healthy start for the day. Jeez, those things called skewers flew off. Almost stuck me. Okay, grubbers, let's see how we did. Let's cut this thing in half. Looks like an egg and a hole to me. Let's take a bite. This should be cool enough now. I've been messing around with some post-production activities for a few minutes. That's so nice. To Dinkle, we dedicate this episode. Dinkle, I know you're out there. I don't know if you're watching. And thanks to your mom for, I don't know if she invented it, probably not, but for showing me how to make one, and being so kind to serve us on those Saturday mornings. in South Miami. Can't beat them. I didn't put salt and pepper on, you certainly can. I think I will, because I'm gonna eat the rest of it shortly. Come back and visit us soon, grubbers. I'm a little off my game with the storm and everything, but I'm trying to do some fun things and lighten the mood a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We got more coming. I got a lot more coming. So, yeah, don't leave us now. Take care, grubbers. Have a great day.